That's what you do best.
Mm-hmm. All right. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. It is episode 59, weighing in with Travis Hartman. I'm B-Money, the producer. That over there is Weekend Trav. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a couple weeks, but we want to jump right in. This coming weekend, big main event, heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk, happening in London, September 25th. That will be on DAZN. Check your local listings for the time. Weekend Trav. We're going to jump right into that thing. I want to break the fight down.
That's a deep
fight. We want to talk
fight.
about our thoughts and then what we think the outcome will be.
It's a deep fight, B-Money. You've been doing pretty good on your predictions here lately, too. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because this is not a runaway fight like most people think it is. However, you know what? I think I've already had a couple too many drinks because I'm already changing my mind.
Wow.
I think Joshua is going to beat him pretty good.
So that's you changing your mind.
Because I thought I was leaning a little Usyk, and I'm like, oh, man, he is pretty good. But Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, they're not stupid. Even though this guy's 18-0, so Usyk's 18-0, he's a former cruiserweight world champion, moved up, fought a couple fights at heavyweight.
Yep.
Anthony Joshua, as you guys all know, he's like, what, 26-1, something like that? Yeah, 24-1, Anthony Joshua. Heavyweight champion of the world, WBA, WBO, IBF, 3 of the 4 major titles. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are going to fight for the other one in October. But Anthony Joshua's going to win this fight.
Anthony Joshua, okay.
Anthony Joshua's winning this fight. And I don't say that easily, and I don't say that like, oh my gosh, like he's going to murder him. But I do think his height and his weight, Anthony Joshua's, is going to wear on Usyk. And I think it's going to inflict more damage later on. And I think that's how Anthony Joshua is going to win.
I'd be curious as we get later into the week what the tail of the tape really is, because the more and more I've watched Anthony Joshua online, he looks slimmer, right? So in other previous fights, he comes in looking like a male Adonis, very definitely a bigger guy.
Like a bodybuilder. Tyson Fury always says that.
Can overpower, but he's looked slimmed down in a good way leading up to this fight. However, I think this is a dangerous bout. Usyk doesn't have anything really to lose other than his record being perfect, right?
And he's 18-0. That's not that
This
big of a
was
deal.
like a gift from the gods falling down on him. Not that I believe in multiple gods, but I'm just trying to put myself in the mind of I don't know, where's he from?
Usyk?
Yeah.
He is from Ukraine.
Well, I'm just kidding, folks. I'm putting myself in the shoes here thinking that this might be a gift handed down, like he needs to take opportunity, the opportunity to take advantage of this bout in front of him. The only thing to lose is a perfect record. He looks angry, he looks determined, he looks ready. So I'm waffling a little bit. We talked a little bit pre-production about what we thought overall, but before we get to our prediction, give me an analysis just from the fighter's background, how you see this fight progressing round through round.
I think I'll do two sides here. I'll do how Anthony Joshua is going to win, and I'll tell you how if Usyk wants to win, this is how he's going to win. I think Anthony Joshua has got to do exactly what I mentioned previously. He's a bigger guy. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. Actually, I'll tell you exactly. His last fight, he weighed in at 240 pounds. I think he's going to come in a little bit. I think you're right because Usyk is a smaller, faster guy. So I think Joshua's going to have to come in a little bit lighter and faster and lighter on his feet. So he will. I think he'll come in 235, something like that. So, but I think Joshua's goal is insert your power, insert your weight on him, wear him down, that big, huge jab, because Joshua's got a really good jab, keep it in his face the whole time, line him up, big right hands, and I think 10, 11, and 12 rounds, in those rounds right there, I think you're going to see some damage being inflicted because he is a bigger guy. Usyk is tough as nails, there's no doubt. However, Usyk, I wouldn't say he struggled with Chisora, but he fought him also last October. Usyk inactivity. He's gonna be othering almost exactly a year when this fight happens. October was his last fight, so Joshua's gonna have to take full advantage of that. Make it tough on him, make it hard on him. You got to use your weight, use your size, use your athletic ability, use your jab. Be long and rangy because you're taller, and that's how Joshua's gonna beat him. Rangy, line up the right hand. Put your power on him. If you get inside, tie him up, lay on him, because that's a very big thing. All that weight laying on a guy who's a smaller guy, because Usyk has fought as low as like 198 pounds.
Right.
Okay? So, flip side, Usyk. How Usyk wins is he's got to be fast and quick, in and out, because if he stands in front of Joshua, Joshua doesn't get enough credit for his punching power.
Right.
He knocked out Klitschko. He's
Right.
got punching power,
Right.
like he does. So I think that Usyk's just going to have to be extremely fit, which you would think he would. This is the biggest fight of his career.
Correct.
And why I say extremely fit is because he's going to have to be in and out, moving a lot, because Joshua is a good boxer still. Joshua's beat good boxers. Andy Ruiz is a very good boxer.
Yep.
Like, he's got very good boxing skill. So he can box with boxers. I don't think he's a superior boxer, Anthony Joshua. Usyk is fast hands, athletic, can move, but I hope that his inactivity, Usyk's, doesn't hurt him here, because he's going to have to bring it to this fight.
Right.
He's going to have to bring it the whole time.
Do you think the first fight with Ruiz, like, just kind of exposed some things?
I don't know if it exposed anything to me personally. I don't think it did. I think, if anything, I think it revealed that clearly Joshua took this fight lightly. And
Correct.
I think clearly, too, not just the fight lightly, a lot of people, not just Joshua, took Ruiz lightly.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
very talented guy.
True,
His
true.
weight and how he looks throws a lot of people off. He snuck up on a lot of people.
I think so.
Because he's a very talented guy. I don't think that was as big of a... The way he beat Joshua was a huge upset, but I don't think that his talent is... It's very superior.
Right.
Ruiz has got great talent.
Right.
So I think mentally he underestimated Ruiz.
Okay, so where do you think his mind's at now? Do you think he's underestimating Usyk?
I don't think so. And if he does, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple, because Usyk, this is what I would call a live underdog. Usyk's clearly an underdog, but I
Yeah.
think he's a live underdog, meaning
Yeah.
I think he can beat Joshua. He can.
I just think it's
I don't know if he will.
I just think it's a very dangerous setup fight.
It is.
And it's one that adds more allure to this weight class, obviously. We've talked about the heavyweight weight class several times on this show.
Yep.
Going back months and months and months, we were looking forward to the potential Fury-Anthony Joshua fight that collapsed on us, which disappointed the heck
Thanks a
out
lot,
of boxing
Deontay
fans.
Wilder.
Yeah. That's a future conversation. We'll probably talk about that in a couple of weeks, as that's about a month away. I just think this is a dangerous fight. And I don't think necessarily Anthony Joshua is underestimating or looking past it. Well, I take that back. I think one eye might be looking past it, looking at the outcome of next month's fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And if he's doing that, then that is definitely going to be a problem for him in a week. So with that, so do me a favor also, because you mentioned one comment about his Usyk's last fight was about a year ago. When was the last time Anthony Joshua fought?
Yeah, that's been...
It had to have been about the same time frame.
Yeah, it was December of 2020.
So
his was October, so they're 10 months. Joshua's 10 months out, he's 12 months out. Honestly, that's really 10 to 12 months. There's
Right.
not much difference.
So it's kind of a washout. Both they at least Anthony Joshua's shoes, he's been doing more of the press tour leading up to Fury. Cowboys win.
Cowboys won, sorry.
Okay.
Purple.
We got a lot of stuff going on. We got well, that's not live, but we have other stuff going on the show. We're filming during football, so anyways, weekend Trav, we're going to do predictions, unless you have more to say about this fight.
A little bit.
Okay, let's talk
and
more.
Just a little bit is that even though Joshua's been out of the ring quite a while, he was back in camp again, preparing for a Tyson Fury. So that's where I think he
That's
might have a leg up on him.
Different opponent, though.
It's very different.
That's
but
slower and longer.
100, not even that much slower, but longer, taller, different, 100% different opponent. But regardless, he wasn't even. The reason why I don't think it matters that much is because he was so fresh into that camp that I don't think he had sparring partners and stuff like that were exactly like Tyson Fury yet. I don't think they brought those guys in yet. The first part of those sparring partners are just kind of getting some rounds in. So you never know who was in there. So he was in shape. Mentally, he was like preparing still. And that's why I think that layoff is not going to affect him as much. But no mistake about it. Usyk's 34 years old. He knows. So honestly, unless it's like a 2 or 3 year layoff, I don't think a 10, 11, 12-month layoff is that much, actually. Sure. I think for heavyweights, it's actually pretty healthy, probably. Yeah, they're healing. And so I think that is good. The layoff's not going to affect either one of them as much as maybe it would, but they're 10 and 12 months out. However, Joshua's is a little less because he was back in camp ready for a Tyson Fury. And they're different opponents, but the reason why I think it was better for Joshua is because mentally he was locked back into a big fight.
Sure.
That training is different than just being in the gym. Even though it was a different opponent, your mindset is locked in still. And that's what he's more fresh on right now.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean, we'll see.
prediction.
Anthony Joshua looking leaner and more fit might make for a little bit more of a quicker bout too. So maybe that was the thought process, trying to reduce some muscle mass. Because if you've seen his last couple of fights, he came in there. He's looking big. He's looking, he's looking like a freaking model. He's not looking like a boxer.
That's been a knock on him. Tyson Fury always says that. He goes, He's like, you're a bodybuilder. He's like, you're not a boxer. You're a bodybuilder.
He's a bodybuilder that holds 3 belts. So
he's
it's
doing
hard.
something.
It's hard to put a knock on the guy. Well, let's transition then to the prediction side of things. We'll do with mine, because people, if they're tuning in for predictions, they're tuning in to you for predictions. You're the boxing
I don't
guy.
know. You've been getting some good comments
listen.
about what's B Money thinking.
A broken clock is right twice a day. That's what my wife tells me when I make comments and I'm right.
I also know an old saying from Missouri.
kidding.
Some old farmer.
Yeah.
Some old farmer said, he says the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah. Every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut.
There you go. Yeah.
So I am.
You've been pretty solid.
I'm the
more than
blind
once,
squirrel, and I found the nut a couple of times. Is that right? Is that right? This is PG-13.
It is supposed to be.
So you know what? Because this weight division has been in turmoil for months, I just want to see it in more turmoil. So this is me more or less taking my thinking hat on and putting what I want to happen hat on, which is this is gonna be where I'm wrong probably. But I'm going into the Usyk camp.
I think you have nothing to lose here.
And I have nothing to lose because I have zero credibility in this
Pretty
world.
solid one.
I'm going with him, but not decisive. I'm going full. He'll get the decision victory. It's going to go the full length.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be able to knock Anthony Joshua out, knock him down. I don't think there's going to be anything like that. I just think it's going to be a grinding heavyweight bout, slow and lumbering towards the end, unfortunately, but it's going to be one that goes the full length.
I mean, it's not a bad prediction. Easily could happen. I mean, he went. Chisora is a big guy too, and they went the distance, and it was a 115, 113 fight for
How many
Usyk.
rounds is this?
It's a 12-round fight, so heavyweight title fight.
So I think
They've all fought. When you're at this level, all these guys, they're all fighting 12 rounds.
I think it could go to the distance, but unfortunately for fans, I think rounds 8 to 12 are going to be very boring.
You could be right. However, Derek Chisora, he just went 12 rounds with him. Derek Chisora is a big guy, 255. That's why I don't think Usyk's going to knock him out. So I will agree with you with that. I don't think Usyk can knock out Anthony Joshua because it's a bigger guy. There's just the height difference, the weight difference, all of that.
Right.
It is boxing. It's a heavyweight division. One punch can change a fight. So we can all look like idiots right now. And Usyk come out there and knock him out in the first round. Could happen.
One punch could change everything. Ask the guy that knocked out Evander Holyfield or knocked him down.
That was such a joke.
Okay.
But I want to say two things. So my prediction, but also you kind of made me think of it, though. Kudos to Anthony Joshua for this fight, though. We got to give him credit. He didn't have to fight Usyk. That is you were 100% correct. Super, super, super risky fight.
It's either
this is a championship level fight.
Listen, it's either maniacally smart or extremely dangerous.
It could be both, but I think you're correct though too. I think this is probably where Eddie Hearn's at. He's like the risk and reward is huge here, meaning he beats this guy. He is expected to beat this guy, but it's a very, very dangerous tune-up fight. You know what I mean? You could say something like that. Like I said, quote, tune-up fight, but it's not. The tune-up is they want Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has to get through Deontay Wilder, that's why you're right. That's the maniacal, evil, awesome plan of it all is. If Anthony Joshua can beat Usyk and Tyson Fury can beat Deontay Wilder, people are going to tune in to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. They already were, but the level of competition that they're going to fight to get to each other now, it's going to be blockbuster.
It's interesting.
I mean, you're talking about if they have this at a soccer stadium, you're talking about they're going to sell 90 to 100,000 seat arena.
I saw images of the soccer stadium full of soccer fans. Today, I think there's a soccer match going on, a football match going on. Place is massive.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to
Joshua will sell it out.
He's
done like 80,000
Of course,
before.
it's in his backyard. It's going to sell out. That's what they were hoping. I would think that's what they wanted for Fury and Joshua.
Oh, yeah.
Was to be there. Could you imagine that?
No.
No, we could because that's what we did for months. And then all of a sudden, Deontay Wilder stuck his nose into it and screwed everything up. Which, now that we're talking openly about it, I feel like that was the master plan all along, right?
Maybe. He gets another payday.
Yeah, it's another payday for everybody.
It builds it up even more.
But ultimately, you know what? It's good for us. It's good for us.
You know what? The reason it is good for us because these aren't dud fights.
Correct.
even as much as crap we give Wilder, and I give him credit when credit's due, but he's got knockout power. He's got devastating power. He put down Fury. He put Fury down twice in the first fight. 0 times in the second fight, though.
And once again, he
can.
And he has nothing to lose.
0 to lose.
So,
and apparently, he's a big weightlifter now, too.
Man.
And he can bench press a lot.
Wow. He's benching over 300 pounds. Good job. 300 pounds. I mean, come on, guys.
We're saying this. They posted an ESPN article.
And there's no way. What I mean, you ask any sort of weightlifter or people that are gym rats, things like, you're looking at the plates that he's putting on this bar, you're like, no way, dude. Those don't look that's not real 45s on there, and it just didn't look right. Okay, it just didn't look right.
And
plus, how many spotters do you need for that one rep?
And the thing is, Deontay Wilder, I was just telling you off the air, Deontay Wilder has power already.
Yes.
The one thing he's lacking against Tyson Fury is skill and experience. You're not going to get that experience to beat Tyson Fury on the bench press.
Listen.
You're not. Sorry, you're not.
He's getting a ton of pad work in the bottom basement gym of a Holiday Inn somewhere, because those are the videos I'm seeing.
Yes.
So, no, that's going to be a later conversation, maybe 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, as we get closer to their matchup. But overall, this at least creates excitement for the heavyweight division, which we were ultimately looking forward to one match. Now we have several lead-up. It's the bracketology. I've mentioned that before.
What boxing needs that, though?
Boxing
That's
needs
something
that.
you said that we needed. We needed that bracket type,
and here
this
we
is
are.
kind of that way.
So, weekend Trav. That
fight.
being said, let's go ahead and just flop it on the table here. I put mine out, and it flopped on the Usyk.
I'm not going to call a round or anything like that.
Okay.
I think Anthony Joshua is going to pull out a win here, and we're going to see a possible matchup with Tyson Fury after Tyson Fury hopefully gets through Deontay Wilder in their third match, which shouldn't be happening. So I think Anthony Joshua is going to beat him, and I think Anthony Joshua has all the right tools necessary to beat him.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are on two different sides of the fence. We'll see on the outcome who is right. We're not making any bets yet with each other, but I'm sure that might come
it's going to happen
shortly.
It's got to happen.
I refuse to shave my beard, and I was thinking about this the other day. Going against what I always do every year, come November, I'm not doing it.
You're not shaving the beard?
No, because I don't care about men's health anymore.
So now I might have to.
I don't care about men's health anymore, Weekend Trav, because my body continues to decompress and fall apart. I don't care about men's health anymore.
So you mean other people not shaving their beard is against your health?
I'm 39 years old. My lower back's all screwed up from lifting. I pull things. It takes longer to get over stuff. I'm done. And mentally, I'm a broken man.
Listen,
I'm just kidding.
You're
really
not a broken man.
I'm awesome, actually.
You actually are a very active person
I'm pretty
for your
awesome.
age. We're not that old. Stop it. Also, Tyson Fury is October 9th. He's not that far away.
Okay, so we got to talk.
That's 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks.
So we got to talk about next week.
Couple weeks, yeah. We're gonna have to that's actually not as far away as we thought.
This is why
October 9th is Tyson Fury.
That's why he's the info guy. I'm just the voice piece.
So after the Joshua fight, which is this weekend, it's the 25th. It's 2 weeks after the Joshua fight.
Okay, so folks, we're gonna talk about
which
it maybe
is
next
also. Remember, I say this on past shows. If you do your homework and you listen to what I say, you know that they're trying to promote a clash when guys fight within a couple of weeks of each other. They're clearly doing this. It's not a secret, obviously, but it kind of is because Deontay Wilder thinks that he's going to beat Tyson Fury. Usyk thinks he's going to beat him. It'll derail the whole Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. But
I kind of want it
the
to.
time frame of their fights right now means that they will fight probably January, February, March, February of 2022.
Maybe. I think they'll push it out.
It could be a little later, but usually blockbuster fights like that, I think of February.
Other weight classes and potential fights coming up will kind of push that off a little bit. But we'll see. We have more to talk about as the weeks progress.
You don't see big fights in March because of March Madness. You don't see big fights in April. You see big fights in May, but I think that's too long because that's a Mexican holiday, and Canelo owns that.
But
rightfully so.
But right now is Hispanic Heritage Month.
Amen. God bless. Hallelujah.
That started mid-month. Is that how that worked?
No, I think it's been.
It started, I think, on Mexican Independence Day, which was a few days ago. People think it's Cinco de Mayo. That's not. That's the significance of a battle. That was not the Mexican Independence Day.
Those Americans liking to celebrate on Cinco de Mayo
because there's nothing else to celebrate that point of the year. Okay,
probably right.
All right. So anyway,
with that being said,
let's pivot. Okay, so you got our prediction. We are on different sides of the fence. Cool. Roast us below. have a comment, like it, whatever it might be. Give us your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win this bout between Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk, September 25th on DAZN, coming to you from London? Check local listings for what time that would be here in the States. Chances are, let's see, what is it, a 6 or 7 hour difference?
It'll probably be like 4 o'clock usually.
Yeah, it'll be in the
about 4
afternoon.
o'clock.
Plenty of time to finish up college football after that fight.
And also, we pronounce it DAZN, but it's DAZN is how it is. But it's pronounced DAZN, but if you're listening, it's DAZN.
That's
Look
right.
that up.
Yeah, and speaking of
It's the most popular boxing
Speaking
app.
of them, thank you to our media partners. They're not one of them. I thought maybe
They're
people
close.
thought maybe they were going to be one of
You
ours.
could have just mumbled it
I'm
together,
sorry,
and they would have assumed
they're not a media partner.
be money.
Because listen, well, this is like the groundwork show coming from the roots. It's a roots-based show. So our media partners, TH Boxing, IF Enterprises, Gulfstream Financial, we always appreciate the media
Love you guys.
support.
We love you
I'm
guys.
going to pivot here, Weekend Trav, if that's okay with you. We're going to pivot now to the money shot.
Oh, we
Oh,
got
wait,
money
hold
shot.
on. It's
Wait.
been a few weeks.
Wait a minute. No.
It's been a few weeks.
I thought we were Hispanic Heritage Month.
No. That's going to be towards the end.
Okay.
The money shot of the week. The money shot of the week, ladies and gentlemen, isn't exactly a sports contest, but it has a sports figure tied to it. A massive sports figure.
Very big.
So the money shot of the week goes to Senator Manny Pacquiao, who formally tossed his hat into the proverbial ring to run for president of the Philippines.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations and all the support to you, Manny Pacquiao.
Emmanuel Pacquiao. This is amazing because this guy, if you know anything about this guy's got a heart of gold, man. This guy, his trainer, Freddie Roach, and mentor for the longest part of his life and his career, has always said this, and it's true. He said, I've never been afraid of Manny Pacquiao losing all of his money. I'm more afraid that he's going to give it away. Because Manny Pacquiao is a very charitable guy. Like, he does. Like, he'll hand out, like, money, he'll hand out food. He's a good guy. I don't know whether he's a Democrat, Republican, whatever. I don't know that.
Whatever they view it over there, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because everybody has those two sides. But I think it's really cool for the Philippines because the Philippines, they are, like, wrought with drug dealers and, like, a lot of corruptness over there, as most big countries are. Honestly, we are as well. But they are very, very, very wrought with, like, a lot of corruption. And I'm rooting for Manny Pacquiao. He's a great guy. I've rooted for him as a boxer, too. He's a great guy. I've predicted against him many times. Doesn't mean I was rooting against him, but I did predict against him. But he's a great guy. And also, B-Money, I think this is good because if Manny Pacquiao wins this bid, he's retiring. And that's what I would love to see because the guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay? Love it. If he fought again, I wouldn't be that upset, to be fair. I wouldn't, because he didn't look terrible in his last fight. But I wouldn't mind seeing him right off into the sunset, man. As the president of the Philippines and ambassador for boxing all over the world, this guy's a massive figure.
I just enjoy seeing guys transition to something else in their careers and not promoting, weight bands and, slings for the elbow to help. Though, you know what? I wouldn't mind having some of those right now because my body's broken.
I wouldn't mind having some of those guys asking us to sponsor that stuff as well.
Or the guy, or what's his face, Frank Thomas with his Nugenics or whatever it is, testosterone
I think
pills.
those guys have made a lot of money off of it, though.
Yeah, but to see a guy transition into where his passion is, and that's it's the people of his country, and doing what we hope is the right thing there in politics. He's been a senator for a long time.
Yeah, for a little bit, yes.
He's
Senator Pacquiao.
He's owned a professional basketball team there for a long time. He's
a
does
huge
things
basketball
in the
fan.
Philippines. Yeah, so you know what? Kudos to you, Manny Pacquiao. I hope the election process is very successful for you as your boxing career has been. You are officially the money shot of the week here at Weighing In with Travis
At
Harmon.
episode 59.
Episode 59. So,
Beautiful.
So let's talk. Everyone's always wanting the Beardsmen of the week, but that's going to be the final thing.
We gotta leave the best for last.
But we're going to talk first and foremost before that about what we're drinking. It's been a few weeks since we've had a chance to really rate something new. Yeah, that's right, because we've done a lot of the bourbon rewinds for us, which is just the leftovers when we don't finish a bottle in an episode taping. But this week we have George Dickel Bottled in Bond. That's the blue label George Dickel.
And that's Dick
Dickel, George Dickel. Tennessee, this is very good. So I was talking to Weekend Trav about this because when I go to Tennessee a couple times a year, I have family up there, do things up there, I have clients up there. So I spend a lot of time in Tennessee compared to other states. It's really Tennessee and Florida for me. This is all over the place because it's, obviously distilled in Tennessee, and it's a very well-known brand of bourbon.
Dickel's all over the place?
Dickels are all over the place. Okay. And I know last time I went up there, I'm like, man, I wish, I talked to actually a purveyor of bourbons up there. I said, I wish we had better access to George Dickel where I live. It wasn't 2 weeks later, all of a sudden,
spoke it into existence.
I spoke it into existence. I'm starting to see that now on the shelves, and that's a good thing. So George Dickel, bottled in bond. We weren't sure what to think at first because we're looking at it, we're like, okay, it's 100 proof, so it might be a little hot for us.
It smells hot, too.
It smells hot. I'm not sure how it's going to taste. We'll let the ice cut it down a little bit. Hold on.
I'm not that upset with it at all.
Not at all. I love it. This is really good to me. This gets us back to our roots.
I love Dick.
Dude.
It's really good. It's quite... right on the lips. It just touches right on the lips.
Okay. So
wait. Let me have a sip of Dickel. Let me have a sip of Dickel. I'm thirsty.
I don't want to put it. I don't want to put the bottle directly in your mouth.
Yep, that's good. That is very good.
So, George.
But on
Dickel.
a serious note, you gonna give it some boxing gloves? How many are you gonna give it?
7.4. That's a big one for me.
That is a big.
I'm giving a big one to the George Dickel.
To Mr. Dickel, okay.
7.4.
Let me think about it. That's actually one of your highest ones, maybe.
It might be the highest. Because listen, Weekend Trav, when we started this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're only joining us now, we've been doing, we talk boxing, we talk life, we talk politics sometimes. It's been a long time since we've done that. But bourbon's always been at the core. We've always drank bourbon or rye or a straight whiskey.
And our beers
That's what we've always
good-looking.
done. And so this gets back to what we started doing, which was every week trying to have something new.
Yep.
We're starting to run out of things. So that's why it's a little tougher. So when we see something new and worthwhile, we're like, oh, cool, we're going to grab it, we're going to drink it. So this to me is like, it's nostalgic.
And I agree. I think this Dickel is worthwhile.
This Dickel is
very
nostalgic.
worthwhile. It is very nostalgic.
Ridiculous.
So it's so good. So I'm going to give it a rating, and I'm not trying to... I mean, technically we're measuring here, so like I'm putting it out there.
What's your measurement?
I'm gonna measure it.
What's your measurement of
my measurement? Because
George
I gotta have a bigger measurement for Dickel. I'm going 7.4 because I have to outdo B Money.
But you didn't outdo it. It's the same.
I meant 7.5. 7.5.
Okay.
Wait, listen. The Dickel got in my head. I meant 7.5. Okay. That's my final answer. Okay. 7.5. So I had to outdo
all in all,
B-Money.
7.45. George Dickel, bottled in bond, which is the blue label. It's delicious, folks. All jokes aside, yes, us Florida boys, we're not used to that name, but it's very good. It's very good. You drink it on its own. This is not something that you figure out some cool concoction with. This is by itself. Be a man, drink it by itself.
Yeah, I mean, I like the bottle. I like the name. I like the scores. We're going to say Big George Dickel.
Big George Dickel
is getting one of our highest ratings.
7.45, probably one of the highest, if not the highest rating we've ever done.
And I'm actually being serious, though. I'm joking about the name, but the rating, pretty serious. It's actually pretty solid.
It's been a long time
very good.
Since we've drank a whole bottle in a night. We might get close to that in this one. This is my third one so far.
I know. I love sucking down George Dickel.
Oh, boy.
I'm trying to be a better man as best as possible.
I know you are.
I never said I was perfect. I said better.
Well, the fact that we recognize we're not perfect is one thing, okay? So that's good. You aren't perfect.
I'm trying to be better, not perfect.
We want to strive to be better in different facets of our life.
And then you throw George Dickel in the mix.
But you know what? There's a youthful cheeriness about making jokes about George Dickel.
I mean, George Dickel... If he doesn't know this by now, like if we got paid a nickel for every time we said George Dickel, we'd have a lot of nickels.
That rhymed really significantly.
On accident. Accidentally on purpose.
It reminds me, in my business, where my office used to be positioned, there was a guy that worked.
B Money is a financial advisor, probably world renowned as well. but go ahead.
Yeah, I know some things. So
A lot of things.
there was a guy that did what I did regionally in our area, but his father really started the son on that career path because he did the same thing as well. So this is going back decades. You want to know his name?
George.
No.
Dickel?
No.
Richard.
I'm sure that was his given name, but he went by Dick Wiener. I'm not even making it up. YouTube, you cannot block or ban that because that is a legit name of somebody that practiced finance in Winter Park, Florida for many, many years.
Dick Wiener?
Yeah.
His name was Dick Wiener.
His son's name was Ben. Ben. He's alive.
I mean, I don't know what that
I don't know
has
if Dick
to,
is
that,
alive.
I don't know what kind of segue.
I
Dick
don't know
Wiener.
if Dick is alive. That's what
Dick Wiener?
the spouse has to.
I feel like the dick is alive and well.
Maybe.
Dick Wiener? You're dealing this to me right now after George Dickel? You want me to process Dick Wiener? That's his name?
He was a very successful.
Dick Wiener?
He was a successful advisor in that area.
Listen, what's the emoji?
He
This
did
is
a-
my head right now.
He actually did. From everything I've ever known, he did a good job. Dick Wiener did a good job. So that's still.
Dick Wiener.
That
He was a
his
very
name.
good financial advisor.
Yeah, that's what I was. I never worked, partnered with him or his son or anything like that.
You were never with him?
No, I was never.
No, you did. You were
no.
this way?
It was
Okay.
actually more like a competing firm. But anyways, that being
So
said,
Dick Wiener.
so the
We
George
segued from George Dickel
George
to Dick Wiener.
7.45 boxing gloves on a scale of 10. We would highly recommend it, but we would recommend it in such a fashion that you're either drinking it neat or get a couple cubes of ice or that ice ball. Do that. That's probably the best way to do it.
You can drink it with a splash of water as well. We
Yeah.
are not picky because you can drink your bourbon how you want to drink your bourbon.
But do not funnel it and don't use a butt funnel either because you may end up in the hospital. We highly...
I bet Dick Wiener would never do that.
No, he's smarter than that.
Smart man.
So let's transition from
Big George
Big George
Dickel.
Dickel. Let's transition. Ladies and gentlemen, we're transitioning.
No, don't transition. Let's keep Dickel there.
But
I don't want to transition Dickel.
it's here.
Oh, you're saying we're going to move on to our topic.
It's here, but we're moving
I'm
on.
thinking
Because,
transition.
no. Okay, now you're going
Okay,
like in
let's
a
go.
weird
Let's go.
tangent.
Let's go.
Listen, this is Hispanic Heritage Month.
So why are we
Okay.
talking about George Dickel and Dick Wiener?
I'm not anymore. You have it on your mind.
Because I'm a child and you
still have,
you lobbed it up to me.
You have your childlike innocence about you. I get it.
You lobbed it up to me, and I'm trying to be a better person, but I can't not talk about
Not
it.
trying to be a better person, ladies and gentlemen.
I failed miserably right
You
now.
are failing. But I do like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
We haven't talked a lot about your outfits recently.
I know, and I've been doing
This is
them
the
still.
Weekend Trav garb. I do like that there's like the pit and the fire things there.
There's some detail in these.
There's a lot of detail in that
I don't
shirt.
mess around. There's
I like
and
the
there's,
color
there's
schemes.
little like fire flamed of like. They're not
think those are
flames,
just
but they're
flowers.
flowers. I know, but they're like fire flamed
I
flowers.
do like the color scheme's good. I like the purple and yellow together, even though I'm a Packers fan and not a Vikings fan. But I think that
I'm
looks
not
good.
a Vikings fan either, but Kirk Cousins. Keep doing good because I got you on my bench in my fantasy team. All right, let's transition.
Okay, so Hispanic Heritage Month, that's
Yes.
Weekend Trav outfit, whatever. If you're watching on YouTube, great. Hit a thumb up, like it. And also, if you're not subscribed, do it because I told you to.
Because
So,
we are the #1 boxing,
Beard
and Bourbon podcast filmed in a boxing gym.
It's out of order, but yes. Filmed in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym.
Specifically on a Sunday.
Or Monday, but today's
It's
Sunday.
and we're doing it right.
And we're number one. Number one in that
In the
category.
world. In the world.
In that category.
In the world.
Because my identity says, to be honest, I'm being honest in that category. So,
George
final
Dickel.
segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a fun time for us because it's been a few weeks since we've been together, different conflicts, yada, yada. No excuses. But we're going now to the Beardsmen of the Week. Beardsmen of the Week, ladies and gentlemen, this week we went back and forth. We weren't sure what to do because football's back in action, professional football and college for that matter. We're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Maybe we pick someone there. No, we're not doing that.
No.
Oh, we're looking at fights that happened over the weekend. Maybe we'll pick a guy that has a beard. There weren't any real good ones. So
No, not good ones. We
we're
want
like,
good ones.
Forget it. And tennis is over, so nothing to do with tennis.
Done.
Yeah, done. The tournament's done anyways.
NBA, done.
Done. So we thought, what could possibly be on the horizon that is associated with the Paul brothers? Because
we're now, I don't know what the streak is, but every episode leading into this, we've actually mentioned the Paul brothers at least once.
I don't have any shame anymore in my life. So you know what? Jake Paul, Logan Paul, you're driving some traffic for us, and we're going to keep that going because it seems to me, Weekend Trav, Beardsman of the Week this week is somebody that might be in line to actually have a little boxing bout with Jake Paul. And when I heard this name, I thought, I'd watch that. And that's what you want. That is what you want from fringe watchers, that interest.
That's whether you like it or not, that's the brilliance of Jake Paul and his boxing career. We're not shamelessly talking about him. We are forced to talk about him because he is relevant. That's what I mean by forced. Nobody's forcing our hand, but every other media outlet has to talk about him because it's relevant, and he is one of the biggest names in the sport.
And so it's tough to pinpoint in these early phases,
like it or not.
In these early phases before the next fight, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where he's going to go with the next fight. Mm-hmm. So we look at who's barking at who. But one name is standing out that I think is going to drive more traffic than anyone else involved, and that is
Jorge Masvidal.
Yes. UFC fight. I don't even know if he's still contracted with the UFC or not. Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
Yeah, I don't know if he is actually.
But exciting guy to watch, and definitely a talker. So if there's anything that's going to happen, if these two start to line up, the stars align for them to fight. It's going to be entertaining. It'll be hugely entertaining. Doesn't he have one of, if not the fastest knockout in UFC history when he knocked out Askren? That was like 3 or 4 seconds. It's got to be the fastest. I'm sure him and Jake Paul can talk details about who knocked out Ben Askren quicker. There you go. I think that's going to be massive publicity for that fight. I know, poor Ben, because Ben seems like a good guy, doesn't he, right? He does. Yeah, he's a good guy. But unfortunately, it's the nature of combat sports. It is. Sadly, that's also why you make the money you make. Ben Askren made $500,000 when he fought Jake Paul. Knockout dummy, but there you go. So, Beardsman of the Week this week goes to Jorge Masvidal, who has a good beard. He does. Okay, but we wanted somebody that's relevant. That I think this is the early stages. Pay attention at home. And Hispanic Heritage Month. And it's Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm quarter Hispanic. Congrats. That counts. Thank you. You know, we put out balloons and streamers in my house and baked some flan, and no, we didn't. I don't like flan. I actually don't like plantains or flan. I like sweet plantains. I don't like any of that stuff. You're not Hispanic. Dead silence. I like it. So it was crazy. Weekend Trav didn't know what to say. George Dickel. I do eat a Mexican meal on Christmas. Yeah. Why? Well, we eat tamales because we have to have something that I grew up eating tamales for Christmas, so we'd have something to open. For those that don't know, tamales is a corn husk, and you open it. You didn't have any presents? I'm just kidding. No, I was a middle class. Are you taking a jab at Hispanics? No, I grew up lower to middle class. It's lower middle class to middle class. Okay. We grew up fine. You want to know something else? What's that? I don't think I've ever had a tamale. I have. They're good. But in all seriousness, we do eat enchiladas, rice, beans. I've had an enchilada. Well, that's actually what we have for Christmas. I'm not lying. That's what we have. I guess I'm a gringo, so we have like ham and turkey. My full-blood Mexican grandmother started that tradition. My mother continued that on, and now my sister does it. I do it. Actually, my wife learned how to cook it, so we do that. And it's interesting because why would you have? Okay, sidebar. Are you gonna throw it out to the gringos right now? Why would you have turkey? 2 major holidays 1 month apart, like it's a big deal. It's not. It's not, but turkey's pretty good. Turkey's okay, but we usually have ham. But I know people that have turkey. You have turkey on Thanksgiving, and then you have leftovers for like a week and a half. Which is awesome, I think. You really want turkey again, like a couple weeks later? It's true. Usually we don't do turkey, we do ham, like a honey ham or something like that. I know some people that do like a roast beast, if you're doing Dr. Seuss. Roast beef au jus. I've never had that. I've had ham. That's about it. Or like a beef Wellington if you want to spend some money. Yeah. We were poor, so we had to go kill one of our cows. There you go. We do enchiladas and rice and beans. And we have like hamburgers because we're so poor. Yeah. We do Chinese food the night before. You did tell me that, actually. There's a whole story that we'll talk about that as we get closer to Christmas, which is around the corner. By the way,
Oh my God.
It's almost October. So
my baby's almost due as well. I'm about to be a dad in 6 weeks.
I know.
6 weeks.
I know.
Little baby Harmon might be here before you guys know. Right here, doing an episode with us. I might have to take care of baby Hartman while we're doing this episode. Mama might be doing something. I don't know. Maybe she'll be training. I don't know.
Okay.
On a Sunday. Who
All right,
knows?
this
We
really
don't know.
fell apart. So the wheels
Was
are coming
it ever
off.
together? It can't fall apart
Not
if it
really.
never
So
was together.
Beardsmen of the week, final Beardsmen of the week.
Jorge
Masvidal.
Masvidal. Cuban sensation.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that in the weeks ahead because I think that would be a nice setup fight. Tommy Fury is a boring fight. I don't want to talk about him and Tommy Fury.
It'll happen
Jake
in due
Paul.
time, though.
It's just boring.
All they need to do is, it's simple. I'm going to have a talk with BJ, Jake Paul's trainer. I'm going to say, BJ, listen, the Jake Paul fight versus Tommy Fury fight needs to happen because he is I'm doing air quotes here, legit pro boxer. All they need to do is this. Jake Paul fight Jorge Masvidal. Beat Jorge Masvidal for sure. Because Masvidal, he can fight. But put Tommy Fury on the undercard again. But this time, be smart in the opponent that you pick. And line him up somebody that he's going to knock out.
Yeah. And
not look crazy boring against.
Yeah.
And crazy not good against. He won that fight, though. No doubt. He beat the guy.
Sure,
but the guy, it was just a very awkward fight because the guy wasn't a bum at all, by no means. Like, the guy was 0-1 as a pro boxer, but the guy had a lot of MMA experience. He was very tough. So, putting your hat back on, I'm trying to be serious here for once again. I'm bringing it back a little bit.
Okay.
But, yes, Tommy Fury, put him on the undercard. Pick a legit opponent that's a boxer. Get him a knockout. Jake Paul knocks out or beats Masvidal.
And then Tommy Fury
It'll
runs into the
create
ring.
a lot of stuff.
Runs into the ring, pro wrestling style. And they
He
have
still
a
tried.
separation and also, yeah.
Tommy Fury still tried to do it,
know,
but
but it was
he
so
did it, and
boring.
people were just like, dude, you looked horrible.
It's
If you would have
just-
knocked the guy out, they'd have been like, oh, but he didn't.
No, it's just a different
Knockout sells.
It's a different class of clout and social media clout. So, anyways, that's boring. We want to see Jorge Masvidal. Let's see if it happens. Beardsman of the week.
I'd watch it.
I would watch it. 100% would. So,
Jake Paul's last two fights, if he goes Masvidal and he went Tyron Woodley, his last two fights are pretty solid.
yeah.
If he picks Masvidal, pretty solid.
Yeah, and good.
Those are actually pretty
and,
solid
and
fights.
it would be great for Masvidal. That's a massive payday. So
a massive. If Woodley made $1.7 million, $1.07 million, then you would think that Masvidal would get equally that.
yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Weekend Trav, let's go ahead and wrap up the show, episode 59. If you haven't subscribed yet or liked our content, please do. You can see a bunch of the stuff that we talk about.
We're getting up there.
You can comment, and you could look at how I've been so accurate with my predictions on fights and how Weekend Trav has been pretty accurate on
He's
this.
making me look bad.
Well, we'll see.
I still got the prediction overall right. I missed the round.
Okay.
I
Well,
did look. You called not only the fight, but you called how as well. So I'll give you props.
Timestamp.
I commented as well. I'll give you props.
all right.
for sure.
So, let's go final thoughts, Weekend Trav.
Okay. Final thoughts. So you know this off air. I told you I went to this. It's just funny that I say this now as I'm drinking bourbon on here. But God doesn't say you can't indulge. He says don't overindulge. No. I'm not overindulging.
No.
I'm very, very consciously know what I'm drinking. However, I am trying to be a better man.
Sure.
We have similar
talk about
right
these
there
things,
religious
sure.
views. We're Christians. We do, and we know that. I got to listen to Denzel Washington this weekend. I got to listen to Toby Mac. I got to listen to a race car driver, and I just forgot his name. Oh my gosh, he just won the Daytona 500. Awesome guy, Hamilton, I think. Regardless, awesome. A.R. Bernard, who is a pastor for, but a pastor, but also I believe Denzel Washington goes to.
Okay.
Phenomenal guy. Was a Muslim before he became Christian.
Okay.
So phenomenal stuff there. But I am trying to be a better man every day, and I think that all of us should look at what we want our legacy to be, because that was the overall thing. And my legacy, genuinely, and I said this before I went to the conference, is my new goal in life is raising a happy, healthy, God-fearing child with my wife. That's my legacy. I don't care about the boxing. I don't, honestly, I mean, I love it. I do. But you know what I care more about? Molding some of my students, some of the kids into being good men. And same thing with my child, whether it's a boy or girl, because we don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. My new goal in life is to have that experience or that kind of outreach on people around me, my kid, my wife, all of them. I want to be a better man. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better son. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better everything. And I want to reverberate that to all the people around me as well. And I know you do too, for sure. And I just hope people know that I've mentioned it different times to a couple different friends because they brought it up to me, some things that I was doing. And I was like, listen, I want to be a better man. I'm not a perfect man. I make mistakes daily. That does not mean I'm a hypocrite. It doesn't mean that it means that I'm human.
Yeah.
And I want to do better, and I will continue to try to do better. And that's literally, I hope everybody knows that. Like, no matter how many mistakes you make in life, no matter what you did in the past, every day is a new day. Accept Jesus Christ into your life and try to do better. If you make a mistake, try to do better. Look in the mirror. Have self-accountability. And that was the biggest thing I took away from that conference last night at the First Baptist Church was a lot of the things that they were saying, it helped me reflect in myself, by myself, while all these other people around me, I was literally sitting there when they were talking and telling stories. I was just like, wow. I was thinking of experiences in my life that I could change or make better decisions at. And it's being accountable and intentional.
Sure.
Be very accountable. We talked about stuff like this already before I went to this conference. Both of us have.
Yep.
Be accountable and be intentional in all of your actions.
And not only that, but also be humble. So I think a lost part of being an adult, a man or a woman in this day and age that we're living, is being humble to the sense of admit when you're wrong and accept that. Accept that someone else has different viewpoints than you. So I think what we get caught up in is that we are so wrapped up in the idea of our personal truth is what the truth should be. And we are being saturated daily by media content, social media, marketing, which, by the way,
influencers.
Everything is tied to marketing. Everything is tied to pulling money out of our pockets, ladies and gentlemen. So influencers, news outlets, politicians, it all has to do with pulling money out of your pockets. Keep that in mind every time you think something or make a decision about something. So we are geared in this current society to want to propagate our personal truth as if that is the truth. When in reality, especially if you're a Christian or if you're a religious person, that isn't actually it. There's two sources of truth out there. It's either something of the world, which is what I'm talking about in that moment, or it's of God or who you believe is the higher deity. So in our situation, we believe Christ. We believe God is that truth. So we are either accepting our personal truth, which is being dumped on us from the world, or we're seeking the true truth. And so my final thought to whoever's listening at this point is this, is that we live in a very broken world because we continue to elevate ourselves. And companies, politicians, media outlets, social media stuff, they know that we're trying to elevate ourselves and our truths, and they're preying upon us for our hard-earned dollars. It's that simple. It's not about our ideals. It's not about anything else. It ultimately comes down to profit. Everyone in the background of all these, the BLM movement, things on the Republican movements too. I mean, all these things. It is tied to the hard dollar. It's tied to your money. Be aware of that. But if you're not sure what to do, to me, my opinion is we seek the higher truth, not our truth. That is all I want to say, because honestly, I've had a few of these, and I'm probably not I'm going to hurt my witness more than anything else. But all I'm saying is this, is that I know it because I'm in that business world too, and I manage people's money, so I see it. And we figure out ways to take advantage of that for them, but that's the way it is. Social media influencers, the media, Fox News, CNN, there's nothing in the middle, MSNBC, the politicians, they only want your money and your control. That's it.
You're 100% correct. I'll go one step further than you're humble. You don't have to be humble if you're God-fearing. Because if you're God-fearing, you're humble automatically. You have to be. Because if you're truly God-fearing, He is your Messiah, He is your God, He's the kingdom, then you will be humble. Because He will humble you. Yeah. Because we are not perfect. We're very, very flawed individuals. So that's where a lot of these guys, like Toby Mac, is like this 20-time Grammy Award winner, all these accolades, right? And he kept telling all these stories, and all he could possibly say was just he goes, the most success I ever started having in my entire life. And he's getting up there. He's a middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
And he is. And he was just like, I'm a servant to God.
Yeah.
He goes, everything I do, I serve God. He goes, and in my own thinking, and I totally related to him when he said this. It really did. It resonated with me a lot more than any of the other speakers. He was just like, everything that I do, I'm doing as a servant to God. I'm trying to give as much as I can.
Yeah.
And he goes, I give without receiving. However, when I give, he goes, it's selfish because it makes me feel really good when I give.
Yeah.
And I've literally said these multiple times. And there's a famous quote that I use of Muhammad Ali's, even though he's Muslim. It's a great quote, and I truly love it and try to live by it, is the service to others is the rent we pay for our room here on earth.
Yeah.
Muslim or not, I love that saying.
Yeah. Well,
period. Because the service to others is the rent we pay for our time here on earth.
That's one of the major tenets of Islam is to help those in need. So
Yeah.
that's
I think that's Jesus Christ as well.
yeah. There's a lot of crossover appeal to that. This isn't a religious conversation, so we're not going to get into all that. But you're right. It's if you're seeking the proper things in your life, if you're seeking Christ, if you're seeking God, all those other things will fall into place.
Yep.
Humility, all these things, they fall into place. Doing the right things, your heart will be aligned appropriately. You're no longer pushing your truth and thinking, I deserve this because, whatever. I. It's not what it is. And that's what our world is caught up in right now. It's everyone, it's a me culture. It's everything about self.
Think about it. Selfies
are
huge.
So
same thing.
As that has expanded, and as people have been just trying to be pushing themselves, our world's falling apart. It's falling apart around us. It's not even necessarily about a political division. It's not. It's because we are. It just frustrates me week and Trav, to say the least.
In my mind, because everybody knows they listen to us. We've talked politics. We know which side of the aisle that we are on for the most part. They do, but when I started getting the most clarity, seriously, when all this crap is going on with politicians, the election, the rigged election, the insurrection, the attempted blah blah blah, the media stuff.
Yep.
I've found solace and peace in God, and I'm not kidding. It helped me get through my nights. I'm like, you know what? God is in control. All I can do is affect those around me. And that's when, the people that I work with, the kids that I work with, the adults that I work with, I just try to reverberate the positive stuff. And I train so many people that are on both sides of the aisle, Democrats, Republicans, Jesus believers, non-Jesus believers. And I train them all.
Yep.
And I just try to find a common ground with every single one of them. And, the common ground is easy. It's love and respect and humbleness and serving. You serve others. You help others. That's our common ground right there, is serving others. And God, whether you believe in God or not, I wish everybody did. Whether you believe in God or not, the common ground is we're servants, period. We are. And I'm not afraid to admit I'm a servant to God. I'm a servant to my friend. I'm a servant to you. I'm a servant to my clients. I'm a servant to my wife. I want to give her the best of me.
But by being a servant to God, you are a servant to those as well.
Yeah.
So it's not that. So when Jesus was asked in the Bible, what's the greatest commandment, trying to trap him, he answered very well. He said, well, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And then secondly, love your neighbor as yourself. Because you know what, folks? That covers all the bases. I've learned in my short life so far, I'm 39 years old, that, ultimately, I want to, be a better father, husband, friend, all these things like you mentioned as well, and take care of my household. And as I can take care of my household, then I could take care of the households around me.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Bingo. And so I could do that. I could drink some George Dickel. I could come
in here.
in
the house.
We could talk boxing, have a good time between compadres. That's friends. I think that's Spanish.
It is. You
amigos.
You did good. Compadres is good too.
Amigos is Hispanic Heritage Month.
My amigos.
And that's how it goes. And, by saying that, I'm also saying that there's Weekend Trav.
That there's B Money, a.k.a. producer.
That was kind of a weird cutoff, but I did it anyways. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe below. Appreciate your time. God bless.
That was probably the best cutoff.